as well as Sarah Hinrich's daughter, not in the starting lineup. Both top 2 leading scorers for Canisius. Let's see how it's going to work out for Terry Zay.
Meanwhile, Iona going with their same starting lineup now for the 4th straight game in Toyosi Abiola, Kristen Mahoney, Jane Eggleston, Triana Clay, and Rebecca Justice. For the Golden Griffs, it's Anna Swenny, Mariah Welch, Abby Schwenk, Shannon Connolly, and Danielle Sanderlin. Abiola step back jumper trying to open the game. She opens it with a bang, and the Gales take the early 2-0 lead.
Perfect for Iona. She needs to get going early for them to get a nice lead.
And against the Purple Eagles last time out, she made 4 3-pointers, and I believe it was the opening 7 minutes of the game. She was absolutely on fire.
And she's dangerous for somebody with some size to be able to shoot that from the free throw line. If she can get that going early, she's going to be tough to guard throughout the game.
So Iona match started beginning in their man-to-man defense, looks a bit. Oh, no, it looks a bit of a zone.
Yeah, a little matchup zone, looks like. Oof.
That was deep for 3. That was Abby Schwenk. Schwenk just making her 2nd start of the year in her 9th game. Had only taken 2 3-point field goals in her 43 minutes as Clay tries to knock down the mid-range jumper. No good. Rebound comes down to Swenny.
That shot's going to be there. It looks like Canisius is going to set up in a zone. If Clay can hit that, that'd be good. But she can also drive to the basket there. Let's see if she can do that throughout the game.
Clay has been taking more perimeter shots this year. That's something that head coach Billy Chambers and the coaches have preached her to do. Take those shots with confidence. Driving baseline, attempting is Connolly. Good shot down there by Eggleston. Little turnaround jumper put up. No good by Sanderlin. Rebound comes down to Eggleston. And she overthrows Mahoney, and a careless turnover there will give the ball back to the Golden Griffs.
It's one thing that Iona really needs to keep an eye on is to limit those turnovers. Those mindless turnovers. That didn't need to happen in the last game against Niagara. They had multiple turnovers. They really need to limit those.
Canisius only forces about 12 turnovers per game. We know Iona likes to push the tempo. They'll force many of the turnovers of their own. You see Eggleston fronting Schwenk in the post, not letting her get position on the block. It's another 3-point taken by Canisius. Rebecca Justice flying high forward. Offensive rebound comes down the Griffs. A block attempt by Justice, but that's put up by Sanderlin. Canisius up 5-2.
These first couple of possessions, if Iona's going to be in this zone, they need to get more than one post player down on the block to rebound. You only had one girl down there that could rebound, and she was outside the paint. You're not going to get any rebounds if the whole point of the zone is to have multiple people down the block to rebound.
And we have a strip there from Canisius, but a foul is going to be called on Swenny. As a couple of subs going to check in early for both teams. Alexis Lewis entering the game for head coach Billy Chambers.
And Alexis Lewis, how good has she been off the bench this season? I think 19 points per game in the last 3 times she's come off the bench. You see these players sometimes that they're just better coming off the bench, and Alexis Lewis has proved that is something that she has been very comfortable on doing.
Yeah, over the past 3 games, she has 58 bench points. That's nearly 90% of the bench points scored by Iona in those 3 games. Little pull-up jumper baseline. Oh, off the back iron, no good. Offensive rebound to Mahoney. Gales a reset.
It's really good by Mahoney. Nobody blocked her out. She got right in the paint to get that rebound.
Nice drive baseline there. Another foul is going to be called. That was Pugh's going to be called for the blocking foul. She had checked in at the last whistle with Lewis.
Lewis hasn't been in for 30 seconds. Very active already, going to the basket back-to-back times.
And we saw this kind of coming off the bench to give a spark to their energy. A little bit with like a player like D'Amica Martinez at times when she was at Iona. When she just got a bit of an offensive fuck, the head coach at the time, whether it be Tony Bozzella or Billy Chambers, would let her see the game for a couple minutes before getting her onto the court.
Yeah, and then as soon as D'Amica went in the game, I think she would just rattle off 8 consecutive baskets. I mean, she really took that to heart as well, coming off the bench. That's something she didn't want to do, but then when she did, she was very good, and it was, obviously one of the best players that Iona women has ever seen, so she didn't come off the bench often.
No, she did not, but she is the all-time leading scorer in program history. Just an absolutely dynamic player. Inducted into the MAC Honor Roll Hall of Fame earlier this year as well.
Yeah, she was something special for sure.
So Iona putting on a bit of a 1-2-2 press. Nothing too much, just to slow Canisius down a bit. Driving baselines, Connolly kick into the paint. That ball stolen away, though, by Mahoney. Gales on the fast break. Mahoney will slow it down. No, kick it forward to Abiola, but again, a turnover off her hands back to Canisius.
That was a good thought by Mahoney, but I really love her defense so far. She's picking up the guards well in front of the three-point line to kind of get Canisius out of what they're used to. If they're getting picked up well in front of well behind the three-point line, they can't feed the post like they want to.
That's why head coach Billy Chambers loves Mahoney. She's a smart player, not the most athletic. And there we go. You see Mahoney and Abiola teaming up for some pressure, forcing the trap. Ball to Iona.
You got to love the intensity right now from Iona's defense. Hopefully this can translate to get a couple buckets on the offensive end.
Now Canisius, a very stout defensive team, ranking #1 in the MAC in terms of field goal percentage defense. Not many easy buckets allowed. Clay gonna drive, kick out to Eggleston. Baseline jumper, looks short, offside rim. Rebound to the Golden Griffs. Welch spot up 3 in transition. She likes it, in and out. Ball goes out of bounds off the back of Clay. Stay with Canisius.
Again, you got 3 girls there. Somebody got to get the ball on the block here.
And checking in is Sarah Hinrich's daughter, making her first appearance. The junior forward from Iceland.
Yeah, Terry Zay definitely wanting to switch up the lineup a little bit, and immediately she gets active as she's fouled here by Clay.
That's the matchup to watch today. Clay always matches up with the opponent's best offensive player. It's something that head coach trusts Clay to do. And you saw there, Henrik's daughter, not afraid though, goes up strong and draws the foul.
Yeah, Clay obviously being one of the few upperclassmen on this team. I'm sure Billy Chambers trusts Clay in defending the team's best player. I mean, she definitely has the size to guard guards as well as posts. So we'll see if this Henrik's daughter, if Clay can stop Henrik's daughter throughout the game.
Henrik's daughter knocks down the second free throw. Canisius coming into this game having lost 9 straight. Their last a tough 4-point loss against Fairfield in their MAC opener. They had a chance to win that game, but a tough offensive third quarter and some troubles on the free throw line as Lewis puts up a 3 from the corner. Rattles in and out. Eggleston comes flying in for the offensive rebound. Clay tries to put it up strong. Looked like she was fouled. No whistle, though. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the maroon and gold.
I don't have to stay with. They're getting their shots right now. I mean, Canisius is giving them their shots. Eggleston had an open 3. Lewis just had an open 3 there. Lewis also been able to get to the rim. So Canisius is giving it to him. It just hasn't fallen for the Gales yet.
Iona has missed her last 5 shots. Going to have a foul called on the floor. Good take to the hoop there from the freshman.
Yeah, we said one of our keys to the game is to get to the free throw line, and they're not going right now, but you need to drive to the basket. This team is shooting 38% on the season, and you can't. If you're struggling shooting, the one thing you got to do is you got to get to the line to get those easy points.
Good pass there from Eggleston into Lewis. Lewis puts it in. She's on the board.
Just a great pass by Eggleston, a great slash by Lewis. They need to keep slashing into the paint.
Lewis chasing a bit of history. Entering the game, she was 21 points shy of the 1,000 career point plateau. She will be the 27th player in program history to do so. Good help there from Lewis, as well tried posting up in the paint, but good turnaround jumper. Now we see the Golden Griffs putting on a bit of pressure of their own to slow Iona down. Iona passing it around the perimeter, looking for Abiola. The long 3-point shot is good.
That was a great play. Again, the more active Abiola can get in the beginning of the game, it's going to prove vital for Iona throughout the game.
Abiola, the way she shoots the ball, you want to see her field goal attempts per game go up, up, and up. She's that good of a shooter. 3-point shot put up by the Golden Griffs, and air ball pulled down by Clay.
Perfect. You get 3 people down on the block there. I'm telling you, that's key, especially in that zone. You need to get multiple people down on that block.
Mahoney sets up the trailer. Lewis looking for back-to-back threes. No good. Rebound comes down to Swenny, looking to push the tempo. As Hendricks on her running with her, gets it to her baseline jumper. That's long. A second straight air ball for Canisius, and Iona will regroup.
You really can't knock Iona's defensive effort right now, John. They've looked very, very good.
Lewis gets it into Clay, double teamed, and she goes up strong, and she'll draw the foul. And that'll take us to our first break in the action. With 4:17 to go in the first quarter, Canisius leads Iona 8-7.
We are MAC South.
Been doing well against the MAC so far in her tenure in Rochelle.
Trying to Clay for his free throw attempt up and in. We're knotted at 8 early on. Good to see Iona get to the free throw line, something you mentioned in the open that you'd like to see the Maroon and Gold do a bit more as this game goes on.
Yeah, it's a must, and I think 7 straight games they went without taking 10 or less attempts. You can't have that, especially, as I said, when you're struggling shooting from the field. You need to get to the line. They didn't attempt a single free throw against St. Francis. You can't have success. I don't care who you're playing. You can't have success if you're not going to attempt free throws.
And another great trap there. Mahoney and Eggleston loving it right in front of us. Force another Golden Griff turnover.
Yeah, I mean, Mahoney is bringing every bit of energy right now. She's the lone senior on the team. She is the leader. So I feel as long as she is keeping that intensity, the team should, because they kind of go towards her to be that spark plug.
Mahoney feeds it into the near the free throw line. Clay driving left side, goes up strong. Good defense there put up by Tiana Pugh. Now the offensive rebound goes to Lewis, and her three-point attempt will go out of bounds. Possession to Canisius.
Well, that's a good shot. You like those threes coming out of the paint. She was set. She was ready to go. Didn't make it, but that's the type of threes where you can get those offensive rebounds, and you got to kick it out.
Lewis, one of the best three-point shooters in Iona program history. Another turnover forced by the Gales. Clay tries to steal and push it forward, but the loose ball picked up by the Griffs. Into the paint, Henrik's daughter spins it around, back to Welch. Three-point shot is good.
Welch has been a problem so far. I mean, she has the height where she can get you in the paint, and then if you leave a hand down, she's going to make you pay like she has so far early.
Yeah, Welch standing at 5'11", a tall shooting guard. She leads the team in three-point field goal attempts this year with 56, entering today shooting at about 32%. Into the paint to Clay. We have another foul drawn by Clay. It's going to be called on Pugh.
They've really tried to feed the ball to Clay so far in this game. They got Lewis. If they're going to be extending out on Lewis and trying to take away her three-point shot, Lewis has done a great job on getting that ball inside. And the more you can get the ball inside, the better it is.
And Iona in the bonus with 2:59 to go in the first quarter. And also, opponents are now stretching out defensively on Toyosi Abiola, the way she's been shooting the three-point shot over the past 4 games now.
Exactly, but that is, I mean, it's a catch-22 with her, because if you leave her open on the three-point line, she's going to shoot. And then if you get up on her, she has the ability to go by you from the three-point line. So it's almost you got to pick your poison. If her shots are going in, you obviously have to defend it. But you have to make sure that you have a defender on there who's going to defend her when she goes to the lane.
And a great offensive rebound on the missed field goal by Eggleston. And Iona with another possession. Abiola looking to make Canisius pay, and she does. Nothing but the bottom of the net for the freshman.
Like we just said, if you keep the hand down, she's going to make you pay.
Another turnover. Sorry to cut you off, Mike, but the Gales are playing with a ton of energy right now, and it's fantastic.
Gotta love it.
Billy Chambers in her first year here with the maroon and gold, and you saw Joy Adams uphanded what she can do for this program, and Abiola reminds me of that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Joy was one of the best players that we've ever had. I mean, she could do it all, and she was one of the hardest workers.
Deflection there by Abiola, but now Canisius looking to push it forward. Zegler, pull-up jumper on Clay. No good. Rebound pulled down by Lewis. Now, the one thing about Adams that I think people who knew her were so fascinated by was off the court. Trailer here by Lewis for 3. No good. Slips down on the follow-through. Rebound to Canisius. But Adams, when she was on the court, was an animal. Off the court, she's the nicest human being on the face of the planet.
The most soft-spoken human being, and so respectful and nice. I mean, she was everybody's favorite teammate and everybody's favorite player to play with. She was the heart of the team. I mean, it was her and D'Amico were so good together, and Joy was a big part for Iona's success while she was here.
And Abiola reminds me of that, the way on the court she's an animal, she's fierce, she loves to compete, but off the court she's the softest spoken, nicest people. She's incredibly humble and grateful for the opportunity that Coach Chambers and the Gales have given her here. As Mahoney, nice drive into the lane there, but she'll kick it out. Mid-range jumper for Lewis is good. Give the assist to Mahoney.
Great look by Mahoney to be that far down in the baseline to find Lewis out there by the free throw line.
Mahoney coming off a game where she registered a career-high 6 assists against the Purple Eagles. Now, Canisius needs an answer here. Iona on an 8-0 run, leading 17-11. And another steal there by Lewis. Iona now with 3 steals on the game thus far. Seems like more than that.
A lot of deflections, too. I mean, the deflections are almost as good as steals sometimes because it'll disrupt their offense. They've got a lot of deflections as well, but they've been so active so far in this first quarter.
And you know that's something that every single team charts is deflected passes. Now Clay goes baseline up, tough move. Iona keeping in this press where they've had a lot of success thus far in speeding Canisius up. A turnover there. Henrik's throws it straight to Lewis.
Canisius has not figured out how to break this press, and obviously the more Iona can score and get set up in this press is gonna be great.
Abiola looking to drive on Henrik's daughter. Avoids the steal attempt from Canisius, and then we're going to have a travel on Mott, who's seeing her first minutes of the game. 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Iona putting a ton of energy, leading 19-11. You got to think the Golden Griffs will save for the last shot here if they can get it across half court. They barely do.
Another deflection.
Henrik's daughter, great cut into the lane. She'll finish. Smooth finish there.
It's a great cut out of Henrik's daughter to break the press.
That ends in 10-0 Iona run. Abiola, will she pull up for three to end the quarter? She's got the confidence.
Shoot it.
She'll feed it to Lewis. No good. That's at gogriffs.com. Second quarter getting set underway here. Mike, what does head coach Terry Zay for Canisius need to say to his team after that first quarter to get them back in their mojo here in the second?
Well, for them to succeed, I feel like they need to be in a half-court offense, and they just haven't been able to get in that half-court offense because Iona's half-court or full-court press, as well as their matchup zone, has been so good. So if they can kind of get some stops on the defensive end to kind of create so they have more opportunities as a half-court offense, they'll be able to kind of work their stuff a little more, but they haven't been able to because Iona's full-court press has been so good.
Abiola now running the offense, pulls up for three on the wing. It is good once again. She is a 3 for 3 from beyond the arc to begin the game.
So difficult to defend, and if she hasn't missed from three yet, very, very, very tough to defend.
She's got 11 points to lead all scorers thus far. Now taking the three for Canisius, no good. That was Sarah Cooley, rebound pulled down by Mahoney.
And that's a tough shot, very, very early in the shot clock. Iona's on a run. Tough shot to take for Canisius for there.
Tough pass there by Abiola. Lewis, good job to go and get it. Takes a pull-up jumper, no good. Offensive rebound to Eggleston, her second of the game. Feeds it down low to Motts. Good entry pass, but better defense there by Canisius. Cooley with the steal. Freshman guard Olivia Vernon running the offense, feeding it in. Cooley had the mid-range jumper, didn't want to. Kicks out Henrik's daughter for three. No good offside rim. Bounces home to Vernon. Into the corner, Lewis comes out to match up. Iona stayed in this matchup zone pretty much the whole entire game thus far.
Yeah, and as they should. I mean, good shot by Henrik's daughter there, but they've been great so far. I feel like Chambers is going to stick with this until it's not working anymore.
Someone who's been quiet thus far is Half Daughter for Canisius. She's played 5 minutes, no shot attempts yet. Mahoney down low, baseline, kick out to Lewis. Abiola was open on the wing, a little bit too late. Lewis couldn't see her. Instead, Lewis will take the top of the key three. No good once again. Rebound pulled down by Henrik's daughter.
Now, you got to be careful in a zone that you're not just passing all the way at the top of the key and settling for the three. You're going to get the three late in a zone. Same thing with Canisius. You're going to get the three late in the zone. You got to work the ball a little bit. You got to feed the post inside. Everybody will collapse, and then you can kick it out for your three. But if you're just going to pass around the perimeter and just take the first open three, it's not going to bode well.
We see that checking at the next whistle will be Treyana Coy, so that post-scoring presence for the Gales will re-enter the game. Abiola step back three. Oh, just a bit short. That was a bit of a heat check right there.
I was about to say the same thing. Heat check, just like you in intramurals, right, John?
That's absolutely correct. Eggleston with the steal. Mahoney leading the fast break once again. Mahoney likes to push it forward and try and find the trailer. She's done so with Lewis already twice this game.
And that was a good decision, just to keep it back. No rush. Let's set up a play and let's get it going. Let's slow down the pace a little bit.
Mott's looking to drive inside the lane. Good poke there from Sanderlin. The ball's going to go out of bounds. It'll stay with Iona with 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Iona has to inbound it from underneath their own bench, go all the way down the court, and try and get a shot up before 3 seconds.
Interesting that Mahoney's taking the ball out here. You'd feel like you'd want her in there.
Clay's going to take a half-court shot. It's going to be no good. Rebound to daughter. Sorry, Henrik's daughter. Offensive flow a little bit for Canisius now is making that basket. Is daughter. Just getting the daughters confused.
Yeah, she needs to get going. She's the team's second leading scorer. That's her first shot attempt. They need to get her. They need to get her more shot attempts.
Lewis puts it up. She'll draw the foul. Sarah Cooley charged for the foul. Lewis with her first free throw attempts of the game. Lewis already with 11 field goal attempts. She's 0 for 6 though from beyond the arc, and she's 0 for 1 from the free throw line. See Coach Chambers talking to Mahoney, giving her a bit of a rest. Mental rest, if you will.
1 for 2. 23-17.
Mahoney coming off a game where she played a full 40 minutes against the Purple Eagles. That was a career high in minutes. She started the season a little bit late, recovering from injury, but that senior presence ever so important on the court for Iona.
Without a doubt, and on this team more than any when you have so many young players.
Canisius has switched to a man-to-man defense. Welch matched up on Abiola. Cooley guarding Clay. Clay jab step jumper, good. Good to see that confidence from Clay.
Exactly. We said it in the beginning of the game when she took that first jumper from the free throw line. That shot's going to be there, and let's see if she's going to have the confidence to shoot it again, and she did.
Approaching the midway point of the second quarter, Iona nursing an 8-point lead. The pace had slowed down a bit. As I say that, the ball's thrown out of bounds by Canisius. Another turnover forced by the Maroon and Gold.
Canisius just hasn't been able to get comfortable all game, and that's exactly what Coach Chambers has wanted out of their defense so far, is just to make Canisius as uncomfortable as possible so for them to not run their half-court offense.
Abiola takes a seat as checking in for the first time for Iona is going to be freshman Adrian DeGoya. Made some starts early on in the year, now coming off the bench as a backup point guard. Inside to Lewis. Quick turnaround jumper. Nice shot there from Lewis.
Perfect turnaround.
And that's what you talked about, even against the zone or something like that, but just making sure you're working it into the post. You don't want to fall in love with just passing along the perimeter.
100%. You need to get that. You need to get at least one post touch, especially in a zone. You need to get that at least that one post touch. Even right here, exactly what Canisius just did for Henriksdottir as she nails down the jumper from the free throw line.
Henriksdottir now with 7 points to lead the scoring for the Golden Griffs. The one thing about Lewis that I love is she's always shot ready when she catches.
She is always shot ready. And the good thing about her, you mentioned she's 0 for 6 from three-point line. I don't think that's in her head at all. I mean, if she's open, she's going to shoot.
Welch takes it into the baseline. She puts it home, and she'll draw the foul. Strong take there from Welch. And we're going to head to a short break. Welch will take a free throw after this. Welch can't complete the three-point play, but offensive rebound comes to Cooley. Canisius will reset. Finally driving back to Welch, looking to get it in. Cooley posting up on Lex. Gets good position on her. Good help there from DeGoya, and she forces that steal.
You said it. That help from DeGoya is so crucial. They think that they have the easy basket, but you have that backside help to really deter them from getting in the basket and then creating that turnover.
Yeah, Mahoney gets credit for the steal in the stats as Abiola goes up strong over Welch. 2 points for Abiola.
She started off hurting them from the three-point line. Now she's getting in the paint.
Against Niagara, she had 11 field goal attempts. 9 of them were from beyond the arc. As Welch drives inside, once again a good take offside rim, no good. Rebound to Clay. There was something she kind of fell in love with the three-point shot because she was hitting it so well. We're seeing this game she's taking a bit more to the hole, a bit more aggressive with the quickness that she has.
And that shows maturity out of a freshman. I mean, I think a lot of freshmen now, if you're consistently making those threes, you're going to stay out there for at least for the first half. But it looks like she really wants to get in the paint as well to get those easy buckets.
Great entry pass there from Lewis. And that's going to lead to a foul drawn by Clay. Way to lead Lewis, a great job leading Clay toward the basket.
Yeah, that was a great play you see here. I mean, great inbound for Alexis, and Triana really strong to the hoop. Welch was in the cylinders, and a good block call there as Clay's going to go to the line.
Touching on the freshman Abiola, one thing talking with Coach Chambers that I found really interesting as Clay knocks down the first free throw is that when Abiola is trying to get used to a game or get a little bit patient, she slows down. The one thing that Coach Chambers wants is that when she's trying to feel out a game, she wants Abiola to go faster because that's the biggest weapon that she has is her quickness. She wants her to be aggressive, and Coach Chambers is like, it's okay if she makes mistakes because what she can bring when she plays with that fast intensity makes Iona better.
And I think that's what's making Abiola play with such confidence is if Coach Chambers is showing that confidence, look, we believe in your ability when you play fast, then Abiola will be able to speed up without having to worry about making a mistake. What's Coach going to do if I do this? It's not even in her mind when she plays, and that's the good thing about Coach Chambers is she wants the players to know exactly where they are, exactly where she needs them to be mentally and as well as on the court.
Lewis with another steal for Iona. That's her second of the game. No, excuse me, her third as a stats update right in front of me. Eggleston back in the game after a short rest on the bench. Eggleston, Mahoney, and DeGoya playing hot potato on the perimeter. Mahoney drives. Good take into the paint, but no good with the left hand. Rebound to Canisius.
That was a good drive. They gave her it wide open in the paint.
Canisius looking for their first point in about 2.5 minutes. Iona's defensive intensity has picked up once again, leading by 10 with about 2 minutes to go before halftime. Iona keeping good job with high hands, not allowing those overhead swing passes, but getting position inside. Celia Surrett.
They work the ball really well down to almost under 10 seconds in the shot clock, and they found that easy layup. That's what I'm saying. In a zone, the more you work the ball, the more the defense is going to have to break.
And Abiola, that's a strong take into the paint.
What a strong take that was out of the freshman. No wonder why she's the 5-time MAC Rookie of the Week winner.
15 points for the rookie. She leads all scorers efficiently as well. 6 of 7 from the floor. And that's Maggie Halfdan, her daughter, has the pass go out of bounds off her hands. DeGoya is going to take a seat. Checking in is Amelia Motz for Iona. On the floor right now for Iona to close out the half. Motz, who commits her second turnover of the game. Abiola, Mahoney, Eggleston, and Lewis. Swanee along the perimeter. It's going to be a foul called on Iona. Mahoney reached out her arm a bit.
Foul charge to number 3, Kristen Mahoney. That's her first.
Canisius shooting 45% from the floor. That's above their season average. However, Iona shooting 43%, and they have forced many turnovers on the defensive end. As this matchup zone posing difficulties once again. Trying to get into scoring position is Connolly, and she does so over Mott. Strong move there from Connolly to create position there on the right block. Under a minute to go until halftime. Iona with a 33-25 lead. Mahoney to Lewis at the free throw line. She tried to do a high pass to Eggleston on the opposite block, tipped by the Golden Griffs. About 5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Abiola backing off, giving Swanee some space. Iona now has matched up man-to-man. Reverting back to the matchup zone. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Henriksdottir's going to have to drive and try and create something. It's off Abiola, and they're going to call the offensive foul on Henriksdottir. Abiola gets up a bit slowly, but she got in position, drew the offensive foul. We see her as Henriksdottir driving a bit uncontrolled. That's pride points for the maroon and gold. As now with 11.2 seconds left in the first half, Iona can save for their final shot. Into Lewis, the quick fadeaway jumper at the free throw line, no good. Tries to get her own offensive rebound, she puts it up, no good once again. And at the half, Henriksdottir puts it up, no good. And after the opening 20 minutes, it's Iona on top of Canisius, 33-25. Leading Iona scoring at the half is Toyosi Abiola with 15 points on 6 of 7 shooting.
That is surprising considering she did have a pretty good first half, 7 points, 5 rebounds.
Quick stoppage as the shot clock didn't start with the game clock. Yeah, but you have Maggie Halfdan, her daughter, who's starting in the second half.
Yeah, Henrik's daughter, 7 points, 5 rebounds in the first half, was one of the more active players for Canisius. And, well, she had success coming off the bench in the first half, so maybe Terry Zay doesn't want to mess with that.
Rebecca Justice is back starting again in the second half. She saw limited minutes in the first after starting the game. Eggleston trying to drive baseline on Half. Danner daughter going to go up with a reverse layup. Good defense there by Half. Danner daughter didn't allow position for the reverse layup. And Dia Ziegler had it on the right wing. Back to Half. Danner daughter, top of the key. Contested three-point shot. That shot is good for Tiana Pugh. That's a tough three-pointer. Had a hand in her face.
Yep. Can't do anything if you're Mahoney there. She had both hands up, and it was just a good shot.
Pugh, a good three-point shooter. 35% on the year. Abiola going up strong. Finishes with the foul.
What a drive by Abiola. I mean, as soon as she got the ball, head down, knew exactly where she was going, took on the contact, and still was able to finish.
She'll have one shot.
Abiola, a good free throw shooter for Iona at 76%. You mentioned Iona needing to get to the free throw line. They're a good free throw shooting team at 71% on the year, which ranks 4th in the MAC.
Personal foul was charged with number 92, Surratt.
We're going to have a short officials timeout, going to look at something over the replay monitor. Replay referee Amanda Gannon over there working the scores table for Iona, having a busy night thus far. A lot of referee replays, but she's doing a good job as the teams huddle up. Iona currently leading 35-28 with just a minute passed here in the third quarter. Abiola heading to the free throw line with 17 points to lead all scorers.
Here's Abiola again. I mean, that's such a good drive.
Officials have confirmed the foul was charged with 32, Surratt.
They were checking on the foul. Whom was supposed to be called on. It was called on Celia Surratt.
To the line to shoot one.
Can't complete the three-point play. Rebound to the Griffs. Now, we saw how well Iona played in the first half. And up in Lewistown, New York, Western New York against Niagara, it was the second half that was Iona's downfall. Mike, what do you think Coach Chambers said during the halftime break to make sure that same lack of energy doesn't happen here at the Heinz Center?
Well, they saw what happens when you don't come out with that same intensity. I mean, they saw it firsthand what can happen, so it should be more of a learning experience what happened against Niagara into this game. I mean, they're a young team. They showed signs that they can play well, and they showed it again here tonight. Let's see if a young team can now kind of transition to learn how to finish games.
There is something to learning how to win, learning how to close out a game. It's not something that innately everybody has.
Because especially with this team, I don't think they necessarily had an identity heading into the season with so many young players and new roles.
Fantastic pass there from the Clay to Eggleston.
Because even the returners would have new roles. Like Kristen Mahoney didn't play 40 minutes a game, any 40 minutes at all last year. So with no identity, they were just kind of getting used to each other beginning of this year. They've had some close games. They played well against Kansas. They had a great half against Niagara. So now a young team is just going to, like we said, going to have to learn now that it's, the 13th game of the season. Try to transition to learning how to close out games.
We have foul called on the floor on Iona. Foul's going to be called on Rebecca Justice.
54, Rebecca Justice, her first. Returning for Canisius, number
Checking in for Iona, Alexis Lewis, and checking in for Canisius, Maria Welch.
Alexis Lewis.
Again, Lewis coming off the bench
Immediately.
immediately.
Canisius basketball.
Abiola matching up on Half. Danner daughter. Entry pass down low to Surratt, trying to get position on Eggleston. That's a good finish from Surratt.
And Surratt got great position there when she got the ball well deep into the paint. You don't want to have that if you're Iona, because as soon as a post player gets that ball that deep into the paint, there's only so much you can do. So that was an easy 2 points for Canisius.
Lewis will take it herself, finding a spot that was open but missed the open jumper. He mentioned Lewis off the bench You were right on the money earlier on this broadcast, averaging 19 points per game off the bench, but that's another 3-point shot for Canisius, and Coach Chambers is going to have to take a timeout. Canisius on a bit of a run.
You can just see the Hens weren't as active on defense in that first stretch of the third quarter here, and that's led to easy Canisius points.
And we said in the beginning of the game, a key to the game for the Golden Griffs was don't give up, keep on attacking. Great look there from Clay. Abiola can't convert, but offensive rebound tipped to herself for Lewis, and the Gales will reset. Trey's a bit hobbled, looks to maybe twisted an ankle or something like that, but she's continuing to play as Amelia Mott's head to the scorer's table. Now Clay has it on the wing, looking to drive, kick out to Mahoney, had the open three, instead will drive inside, and she'll get hacked.
That was smart. Mahoney thought about the three, still drove to the lane, and then drew the foul. It just shows you how heady of a player Mahoney has been, and I think Iona desperately needed a player like this, especially this season.
Clay heads to the bench. Athletic trainer Whitney Larson will take a look at it. Doesn't look too serious. Clay with a smile on her face. Now Mott has it on the wing near side toward us. Canisius in their man-to-man defense. Mott will take the pull-up jumper. She'll knock it down.
And that was great. I mean, she looked for the open man, and then she noticed nobody was in front of her, so she took the shot. I mean, that's perfect offense. She looks for the open man, and then Canisius just played off her, so she knocked it down.
Mott's first points in 3 games, playing only 7 minutes combined against Canisius and Niagara. Eggleston nearly forces a steal. Now Surratt has it blocked, turnaround jumper, too strong off the backboard, Mahoney pulls it down.
Again, Iona has to be careful. Surratt got the ball in way too deep again. An easy look, but luckily for Iona, Surratt missed the shot.
Mott drives baseline, will draw the foul.
Great energy out of Mott so far coming off the bench here. Easy
Henrik's
jumper, and then it came in, drove the lane too.
Mott's had some success earlier on in the year. Saw a start against St. Francis Brooklyn. Registered a career-high 11 points at Duquesne back on November 21st. The sub of note at the last whistle was Henrik's daughter re-entering the game for the Golden Griffs.
Tough pass out of Mahoney there. Again, she was so far behind the three-point line.
Open three-point shot. That was taken by half Danner daughter. It didn't go down. And then there's going to be a foul called on Maria Welch, and that'll bring us to another media timeout. You could also reach us on Facebook at Iona College Athletics. On the floor for Iona coming out of the timeout, Mahoney, Eggleston, Abiola, Mott, and Lewis. Eggleston long kick baseline to Abiola. Couldn't get her hands on it first time around. Now with 7 seconds on the shot clock, she's going to try and create. Matched up with Sweeney, drives, left hand finish.
You see, and that play's on Welch. Welch didn't come in and help. Abiola drove to the lane. Welch came in to help, but then she kicked back out because she's afraid of Abiola kicking it off for the three. Instead of just staying there, she could have drew a charge.
That's where the defender has to be aware of the shot clock and know the offensive player is going to look to get it off as soon as possible. 10 seconds on the shot clock now for Canisius. Welch can't get the layup. Good defense there by Lewis. Head coach Terry Zay a bit frustrated with no foul call there. Abiola takes a step back three-point shot, just a bit short off the front rim. Mott's battling for the offensive rebound. Is going to be called for a push in the back. You see Coach Chambers there telling Mott that yes, that was a foul. That was a correct call. Take a look at Coach Zay. Two very different style of coaches. Coach Chambers is very stoic. In what she says, she has meaning behind it. She doesn't necessarily yell all the time, and when she yells, the players notice. Coach Zay, a ball of energy. You can tell he loves watching his players play because you can hear him literally every second of every game.
100%. Terry Zay, head coach at Canisius since 2005. definitely has the experience coaching the MAC as Welch knocks down a tough 3-point field goal with Abiola in her face. But, yeah, I mean, you said it. They're complete opposites as far as coaching styles, but they both get their most out of their players just in a different way.
Yeah, both have brought success to the programs. As now Iona up by 5. Mahoney feeds it to Clay down low, then to Eggleston. Her short jumper, no good. Welch with the rebound. Abiola pulls down the defensive rebound for Iona. And then a turnover will give the ball back to the Golden Griffs.
It will be Canisius basketball.
One thing we're noticing here in the third quarter, second half thus far is that Iona has not been able to put on that press that was so effective in the first half because Canisius has clamped down on the defensive end.
Yeah, 100%. We talked about that in the first half. The one thing that Canisius can do to not see that press anymore is to get some defensive stops, and that's exactly what they've done here.
Henrik started driving on Mott's pull-up jumper. Eggleston with the rebound.
And that's just great defense. Henrik a little bit of force there, but that was just great defense by Iona.
Motts with Welch on her. Welch does have 3 personal fouls, along with Swenny. Five seconds on the shot clock. Mahoney driving, kick out Abiola. 3 seconds, she puts it up, she'll draw the foul. What's it say that Coach Chambers has the faith in a freshman, in Abiola, to get that ball at the end of the shot clock and know that she's going to create an opportunity to score?
Yeah, I asked her at halftime. Abiola just shows so much poise. I mean, she was doing it on both ends in the first half. 15 points in the first half. She's doing it now. She drew that charge at the end of the first half. When I asked Coach Gotze, she says right from the jump she's instilled a lot of confidence in her, and she hasn't proved them wrong. So she's just going to continue to do that and continue to push her in a way, and it's worked out immensely.
And Coach Chambers just saw that Abiola has now crossed the 20-point plateau with a game-high 21 points thus far. It's her 3rd time this year she's scored at least 20 points. She has tied her career high. She's only a freshman, folks.
Going to see a lot more of her.
And that's a block from Clay, and the rebound's going to go to Eggleston.
And I like Mahoney slowing down the ball here because when Iona's worked their stuff, it's been great here in the third quarter.
Eggleston now is tied at career high in rebounds with 8. And Abiola trying to create some space with the dribble. Driving left side, they're going to call an offensive foul. Credit to the defensive end. That's Andia Ziegler, who stood in front of Abiola and drew the foul. First foul called on Abiola. Henrik Starter driving on Eggleston, called for the travel. Henrik Starter, 7 points thus far on 3 of 7 shooting, though she has 6 turnovers. It's been mainly Clay matching up against her.
And she also has not scored in the third quarter here, which has obviously been huge. One of the main people that you have to stop. Not scoring in the third quarter, huge for Iona.
Great pass there from Motts feeding into Eggleston.
Eggleston has done a little bit of everything this game. I mean, she's been quiet on the offensive end. This is her 4th point, but she's 8 boards that have been so big. She's kind of the glue, the glue player here for Iona.
Long 2-point shot made by Celia Surrett. Under a minute to go. Iona with a 45-38 lead over Canisius. The Gales looking for their first win of the 2017-2018 campaign. Canisius looking to snap a 9-game losing streak. Mott's looking to drive on Welch. Goes up strong with the right hand. The soft touch off the back iron.
She's really had some strong drives here since she's come off the bench here in the third quarter. Another spark plug.
And with the make, Iona's able to put on that press. Now Canisius will slow down for the final shot, 15 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Big push by Iona ever since Canisius cutting that lead to 4. They've really come out ever since that timeout by Coach Chambers.
Swenny to Welch. Welch Three at the buzzer, no good. Claddles off the iron. Queen playing an opponent for both times during the regular season.
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes to play a team that quick twice. You know, sometimes you see it in the leading into the MAC tournament. If it's your last regular season game, you might have that team in the first or second round. But as far as the regular season goes, I mean, sometimes a lot of the time you are a completely different team in the beginning of the season than you are at the end of the season. So in my view, they're only going to see each other in that first half of the season. They're going to be completely different teams in the second half of the season. So if they do face each other in the MAC tournament, it's even that much harder to scout. So that's the way I'm thinking of it. I always like to face those teams in the first half of the year and the second half of the year. So when you get to the MAC tournament, you kind of know what the team's about heading into the end of the season.
Ziegler goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Iona looking for their first win of the year. Canisius coming out. Looks like a 1-2-2 press to slow Iona down. Abiola still on the floor for Iona with a game-high 21 points. She's the lone player for Iona in double figures. Clay posting up down low, looking to get position on Pugh. Gets it on the baseline. Coming to help is Ziegler. Clay will drive, no good. Offensive rebound to Motts. Chambers pleads her to kick it out. She does. Iona will reset, new shot clock.
Motts has been vital in this second half, without a doubt. Getting rebounds, getting the loose ball, scoring. She's doing a little bit of everything here.
Basically, she's kind of what Eggleston was like in the starting lineup. She's kind of that glue player. As Clay, good confident pull-up jumper from the mid-range.
And the Gales back up by 10, 49-39.
Gales leading by double digits. They were leading by double digits against Niagara before they end the lead squander. Surrett puts up the floater in the lane, no good. Motts, great box out.
That was a great box out, as you said. There's Johnny. Let's see. You got to slow the tempo down on offense. You got to run some clock and just kind of get into your stuff here. There's no rush with a 10-point lead.
This is tied for Iona's largest lead of the game. They last led by 10 midway through the second quarter. Eggleston take the long 2-point shot. No good off back iron. Motts went for the offensive rebound. Collided with Sweeney. Canisius will control. When he opened three. No good. Eggleston boxed out. Ziegler is going to go to Canisius. No, go to Iona, excuse me. Maggie Halfdan, her daughter, re-enters the game for the Golden Griffs. Alexis Lewis still yet to see action here in the fourth quarter. Anxiously sitting next to associate head coach Ashley Kelly.
Little press here from Canisius.
Quite able to get it over just before the 10-second violation. Now Iona only with 15 seconds to set up their offense. Abiola contested three, that's blocked by Ziegler. Offensive rebound to Clay, and she's fouled by Surrett. Bit of a fortunate bounce there for the maroon and gold with that loose ball going to Clay, but they'll take it.
Yeah, the presence of mind for Clay. She definitely realized that they were going to be down in the shot clock, and she had to get something up, and she was able to force the foul with just 2 seconds left on the shot clock. So really good heads-up, heady play by Clay.
Iona in double-digit free throw attempts for the first time in over a month. Clay misses the first, but they now have 12 free throw attempts thus far today. Clay, a 67% free throw shooter. Misses them both. The rebound's going to go to Canisius. Clay has gone to the free throw line 4 separate times today, 5 for 8 from the charity stripe. That's a 3-point shot put home by Pugh, the sophomore forward.
Pugh's been hitting some contested threes this game, and that was another one. She's very, very vital here.
She is 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Motts, an aggressive drive into the lane, out of control, and drawing the charge is going to be Pugh. Pugh with 9 points in just 11 minutes. She's got 2 rebounds. Making the most of her minutes. She does have 3 personal fouls. 4 different players for Canisius have 3 personal fouls. Half Danner daughter to the far corner for Ziegler for 3, no good. Rebound's gonna stick with Canisius.
And you got to box out there if you're Iona. There's no reason Swenny should even be near that rebound. You even get a hand on it. You have 3 girls down there. You gotta find somebody. You got to block them out for that big rebound.
You know, the shortest player on the court right now, standing at 5'6". Surrett gets into the lane, makes it, and the foul. Triana Clay called for the block. And that 10-point lead for Iona quickly dissipates. It's standing at 5. Surrett can make it 4. Oh, that was unkind. The rim bounced that one out. Iona's lead will stay at 5, 6.5 minutes to go. 2 hungry teams at the Heinz Center. Both looking for their first conference win of the year. Looking to begin 2018 off on a good note. Clay looking to drive on Surrett, kick out to Lewis. Lewis driving into the paint, kick out to Eggleston. Clay contested 3, no good. Defensive rebound to Ziegler. That was a good job by Canisius there, Mike. They were cutting off those driving lanes for both Lewis, Clay, Eggleston, nobody allowed in the paint.
Yeah, that was great defense. We'll see what this young Iona team's kind of made of. Canisius making their run and see if they can get a big stop and then get some points up on the board.
3-point shot. Half Danner daughter couldn't have it go home. Rebound picked up by Eggleston. New career high for Eggleston now in rebounds. She has 10 rebounds to go along with 4 points. Ziegler almost with the steal. Abiola gets a kickoff. Eggleston now baseline jumper, no good. Comes down to Swenny. Iona's cold shooting coming back to affect them right now. No points in the past 3.5 minutes. Loose ball comes back out to half Danner daughter. 3-point shot, no good. Finally missing was Pugh. We're going to have a foul called.
Terry's clearly wants a jump ball here. Take another look. As you see, it is Swenny called for the foul.
Just over 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. The foul count here in the 4th quarter. Iona called for 3, Canisius called for 2. Gales with 3 timeouts left. And the ball will go back to the Golden Griffs. Foul called on Toyosi Abiola.
You can't commit that turnover there. You got to get the ball in. Heady play by Swenny to get that. Smallest player on the court making the biggest plays.
Half Danner gets the inbound. Quick baseline jumper, no good. Long Mahoney.
And it's Swenny again.
Swenny kicks out to Surrett for 3. It's good. Momentum all in the Golden Griffs' way right now. 49-47 the score. Iona leading by 2.
And that was all Swenny. She fought to get that rebound. She drove the lane, set her girl up to hit the 3, and now
the 3-point shot beginning to tend toward Canisius' way, shooting 35% from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Iona just at 20%, 3 for 15. All 3 of those makes from Toyosi Abiola. She has it, looking to drive right side, kick to Mahoney in the corner. Lewis into the paint, contested jumper, no good off back iron. Offensive rebound, Clay, kick out, Iona will reset. .15 seconds on the shot clock. Good defense here from Canisius. No openings for Iona. Abiola drives baseline, the floater, no good. Swenny with the rebound.
Another
Canisius with a chance to tie.
Great defensive hold by Canisius. Nothing for Iona there at all.
Ziegler picks up the ball, turns it over. Clay has it, feeds Lewis. Lewis with a chance in transition. She'll pull up, and Iona will reset.
All right, decides to pull out. She had the one-on-one to decide just to pull it out and run the offense, but great defensive hustle by Clay to get on the floor and get that steal.
Abiola had the three, thought about it, instead kicks it back top of the key. Canisius in their man-to-man defense. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Abiola takes it. No good off back iron. Eggleston contests Pugh for the rebound, but Canisius comes down with it.
Past couple offensive possessions has not been what Iona's wanted. Late forced shots in the shot clock.
Canisius, a careless turnover, miscommunication there between Halfdanner-Daughter and Swenny. Ball goes back to Iona. The Gales have not scored any points in the last 6 minutes. They have missed their last 7 field goals. They need to break this cold spell if they want to get their first MAC win of the year.
Great job for Iona to break that press. Relatively easy and plenty of time on the shot clock.
Almost a carry there. Swenny able to take control of Clay's errant dribble.
Swenny, again, huge steal. She has been so important to this comeback here in the fourth quarter.
Canisius can still tie or take the lead. Under 2.5 minutes to go. Swenny has it being guarded by Clay. Inside, Lewis with that steal. She read that pass like a defensive back.
100%. She read that from the opposite block. She saw where that pass was going to go. Huge steal for Iona.
Swenny pestering Mahoney.
Kills.
18 turnovers for Canisius, but just their second turnover this half.
A timeout's going to be called by Iona. 4 points in the fourth quarter against Niagara. They have just 2 points thus far here in this fourth quarter. It is the entry pass to Clay. Loses control of it. Mahoney gets it, the pass from Clay. No good, short on the jumper. Rebound to the Golden Griffs. They did exactly what you said. They fed it to Clay in the paint, just couldn't convert. Iona going into his zone defensively, it looks like. Surrett has the ball stolen away by Clay. Lewis just throws it wildly up into the air, comes back down with the Golden Griffs. The shot clock reset inadvertently. Officials timeout to reset the shot clock to 28.
Clay so active there, almost forcing the steal twice, but just couldn't get possession of the ball.
Sego drives baseline. Abiola there looking for the charge. Instead, it was a great pass. The bucket and the foul. Halfdanner-Daughter ties the game and gives a chance for the Golden Griffs to take the lead.
Such a tough pass, baseline to baseline. You'd think somebody would be just down long enough. You see Abiola trying to come in and help, but a great step pass for Halfdanner-Daughter to come in and finish.
Halfdanner-Daughter gives Canisius the lead. Iona has led for more than 80% of this game, but right now they trail by 1. And it's going to be a turnover back to Canisius with 1:08 to go.
Iona a little rattled right now. They need to get a defensive stop. Calm down a little bit, because you're obviously still in this. You can't hang your head. It's only a 1-point game.
He's just going to work some clock. Swenny being guarded by Mahoney. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Swenny to Ziegler. Lewis jumps on the shot. Offensive rebound comes to Swenny. New
rebound.
Shot clock.
And who does it go to? Swenny.
A foul. Mahoney commits it purposely.
This will be 2 shots for number 4, Anna Sweeney.
It's going to be 2 shots for Anna Swenny, the sophomore guard from Erie, Pennsylvania, who has been a gnat in Iona's side. Swenny knocks down the first. Second, no good. Abiola gets in there for the rebound. Timeout call.
The box score, no matter the end of this game, and he's going to be happy.
Mahoney fighting to get open. Swenny almost had the steal there. Mahoney gets it to Abiola. Abiola has an open drive left side, puts up, blocked! Blocked out of bounds. That's great help defense. That was from Surrett.
It's a great play call by Iona. I mean, Abiola had the lane to just a fantastic block.
Mahoney struggling to get it in. Gets it into Clay. Clay finds Abiola. Has the mismatch. Abiola takes it, puts it up strong. No foul called. The ball will go to the Golden Griffs. 14.9 seconds on the clock, leading by 2. Timeout called. She kind of just snuck her hand in there quickly, maybe got the eye of Abiola just a little bit. Mahoney's going to have to foul. She fouls Swenny. Swenny, not a great free throw shooter. A little bit surprised that Coach Zay drew up a play to get her the ball. She was only 2 for 8 from the free throw line entering today, 1 for 2, just splitting a pair just a minute ago. This one's no good. Iona, though, no timeouts remaining. Swenny second, no good.
Oh,
offensive rebound
man.
to Swenny.
You gotta box out the shooter. That's just a communication mishap. First two players that are up on the free throw line, you always say who has shooter. You gotta be on that, especially towards the end of the game. Another huge rebound for Swenny, her 8th of the game.
Half Danner daughter knocks down the first. Makes it a 2-possession game. Knocks down the second. 5-point game, 7 seconds to go.
Gotta hurry.
Lewis, one last attempt at the buzzer, but that'll do it. Credit to Canisius, a phenomenal comeback. The final score here at the Heinz Center,